Okay, if y'all want to scold me, you can, because I just suddenly realized, and that just doesn't happen very often. I just suddenly realized I didn't have my carving glove on. Oh boy, a good example I am, huh? No, I just realized that I had left my carving glove in the car, and it wasn't in my box that I have, so. I was carving without my carving glove, and I apologize for that. I just forgot to put it on, but we have it on now, so don't do that. Don't. Okay, we're going to be removing some wood. No, years ago, when I was a young man, and most of you that have some age on you remembers it, when a girl got pregnant in school, it was not they didn't celebrate it or let them go to school. They had to go off somewhere, and of course times have changed. I understand that, and I'm not being judgmental, but things have sure, they've changed a lot. Now it's kind of at one school it was the status. These young girls had made a pact to get pregnant. I'm not going to get into social issues here, but that to me is just a little bit wild, as we might say. Okay. Dangerous too. All right, here we go. We're getting this down a little bit. As you can see, the arms are in this situation where they're down by the side. Now, I'm going to take off a little bit more in this area and a little bit more in this area, and then we're going to go back, bring those legs down. I could have cut in between the legs with my bandsaw, but I didn't do it. But it's funny how, and that's what the shotgun wedding, that's what I was trying to tell you, that's what it basically represents. I'm sure back when in the early 1900s, when Andy was carving, when a woman got pregnant, well, her father would usually force the man to marry, or he basically knew that he had to marry the girl. And of course nowadays people don't they're living together, so things have just changed. Times have changed, and I don't say for the better. I still think that our good Lord doesn't approve of such things. But society has a tendency to ignore those things. And also look at the problems that's caused as a society by having to fit the bill for a lot of problems in our society that we've felt we've allowed. Okay, now let's go ahead and we're going to bring this from this end up and around like this, and we're going to bring this end around like this. And we're going to take our knife and we're going to come around and up. Take our knife, come around and up. And we're going to cut away here. Of course, the most important thing is if something like that ever happened, I mean, it could happen. Don't ever anyone say. I've learned never to say nothing can happen in my life, because it can. And but if it ever happened to one of my stepdaughters or my son, I would be the same way. I would love them and want to take them in and help them. That's the most important thing, is family. Okay, you see how that's done? See how that coat comes along there? I'm going to bring these arms down, of course. They're way, way too big. But he's not what you would call extremely neatly dressed or anything like that, in other words. But in an old country wedding or an old-fashioned wedding, he would not be dressed to the hilt. A lot of people, I'll tell you, I look at the extravagant weddings they have today, and it's unbelievable. Back then, I remember my first wife and I got married. I think only cost us $1,500, and it was a very, but people didn't spend the money on weddings like they do. People didn't have the money to spend on weddings like they do today. These TV shows, a lot of them, my stepdaughter watches, and spending $80,000, $90,000 on a wedding. Folks, I'm sorry. I mean, I can't tell a person what to do, but that's pretty bad. That's a lot of money. You go put a down payment on a good house for that. My house is just barely, my house is probably worth about $100,000, but some people spend, I know a guy that spent $300,000 on his daughter's wedding. Whew. Okay. All right. See that? We've got the coat on him now. Okay. Now, let's take and come across here with the pants. Come across there with the pants. And let's cross here. And we're going to give him a little pot belly. Cut down. And then from the shoes, we're going to thin those shoes up. We're going to, of course, as I just saw, we're going to make the crease in there for the pants, the legs. And we cut the little, as we say, the little crouch area in here. Like that. See that? I'm going to bring these shoes back a little bit more, and I'm going to bring them down. Take them down just a little bit in this area. And over here, same way.